Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. We'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. All solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Rosetta Presley. Good afternoon, Ms. Presley. What's your date of birth?
February 6, 1992.
Ms. Presley, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes.
All right, I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
I am showing a 2015 fraud with no disposition. Other than that, no other history, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we have the victim here.
All right, and that's Mr. Paris?
Yes.
You can come forward. Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Raise your right hand for me. Solemnly swear affirm tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name, please.
President Paris.
Mr. Paris, what do you want to tell me?
There was no domestics involved, and I want to ask, can I get peaceful contact?
Okay. How long have you known Miss Presley?
All my life.
Okay. Are you concerned that she's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here today?
No, sir.
Very good. All right. And Rosetta, I've got an address for you on Roble Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
For mostly all my life, but I just moved back home from Cocoa a year ago.
Do you have a job these days?
I have 2 jobs and I go to school.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I work at Burger King and McDonald's.
Okay. All right, Rosetta, I'm going to set your bond at $50. Condition of the bond is that you all can have peaceful contact with Mr. Paris here. Of course, it's always a crime to touch him any way he does not want to be touched. It could be a violation of your conditions of pretrial release in this case if you have any kind of contact that can't be described as peaceful. So literally so much as raising your voice, if we find out about it, might get you back in jail, all right? Mr. Paris, as far as you're concerned, if you ever felt like you needed to call 911, you still can do that. They'll still come running like they ever did. But you certainly can have contact with her while this case is pending, all right? All right. Rosetta, you'll be back in court on the 8th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Okay, so do I have a bond or will I be...
$50.
50?
50, 50.
Okay.
All right? Very good. Tanya, peace. Afternoon, Tanya. Date of birth?
September 14th, 1973.
All right. Tanya, got a number of issues here. First, I got a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a petty theft. Next, I have a warrant signed by Judge Merritt also. In that case, he found probable cause for a fraudulent use of a credit card and criminal use of personal ID. Then I have a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. In that case, he found probable cause for 1 count of trespass. And finally, a warrant signed by Judge Rupi, and she found probable cause for violation of probation. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm public defender.
All right. Then I'll appoint the public defender on the warrant for the petty theft. Judge Merritt set the bond at $1,000. I'll leave it there. I'll have you back on March 8th. On Judge Merritt's warrant for the fraudulent use of credit card and criminal use, the bond is $2,000 per count. And that case is coming back on the 5th of March. On Judge Merritt's warrant for trespass, I'll leave the bond at $500. That one's coming back on March 8th. And on the VOP, the bond is no bond. I'll leave that right where it is as well. That one will also be back on the 8th of March. So you'll be back in circuit court on the felony charges on the 5th. On the 8th, you'll be in front of me on all of your misdemeanor charges. And we'll see if we can get those all resolved for you on the 8th of March, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Shannon Nelson. Afternoon, Ms. Nelson. What's your date of birth?
9/7/86.
And Shannon, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for violation of community control, looks like. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I am going to change the date to the 1st of March. So the public defender will come see you before you go back to court on March 1st, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Tiffany Coos. Afternoon, Ms. Coos. What's your date of birth?
6/2/72.
Ms. Cruz, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently it failed to appear in her court last April on a charge of driving on a suspended license. Mr. Larison, is this the sort of thing she can resolve today?
The offer's time served.
All right. Tiffany, if you want to resolve this today, you can plead no contest right now. If you do that, I will sentence you to 2 days in the county jail with credit for 2 days served. I'd assess the fine and court costs. In this case, it'd be over. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you'd be released. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yes, sir.
Very, very good. You understand, by entering a plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 17-CT-3968, the charge that you drove, knowing your license had been suspended or revoked. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find it was freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail, credit 2 days served. Fine and court cost is $488, $100 for the 2 days in jail. That takes care of it, Tiffany. If there's nothing else keeping you in jail, you will be released today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Juanita Greif.
Stop.
Afternoon, miss. What's your date of birth?
4/16/54.
All right, Juanita, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on March 5th. Public defender will come see you before that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Helen McKay. Afternoon, Miss McKay. What's your date of birth?
08/27/1958.
Ms. McKay, I have 2 charges today. I have a battery and a witness tampering. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll point the PD, state what you tell me.
Your Honor, I don't have a criminal history
Okay.
for the defendant.
All right. And Helen, I have that address on Ostrom Way in Wekiwachi. Is that where you were living?
Yes, sir.
And how long had you been there?
About 2.5 months.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, I'm waiting for disability determination.
Okay. And looks like you were living in the same place with Ms. Mears. Is that right?
I brought her in later, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So Helen, I'm going to set your bond at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,000. Condition of the bond, however, is that you'll have no contact with Ms. Mears. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't go where she lives, you don't go where she works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact, so if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she's allowed to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you must assume they are not dropped, and you must not have contact. So as far as the spot that you have at Ostrom Way at Cody's, if she stays there, you have to find someplace else to stay until this case is resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever is there. To do that, however, you'd have to contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you picked up your things and got going where you're going. If she's not staying there, then I don't have any problem with you going back. I'm going to have you back in court on the 5th of March. Very important that if you get out, you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir. Can I just say one thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Sir, I have 2 small dogs that I rescued about 9 years ago. I'm all they have, and they're all I have. And I have no one to take care of them here because I know nobody. It's just one of the neighbors there took them for last night.
Okay, okay. There's nothing. I'm a dog person, so I get that. But there's not anything else I can do other than what I've just done. I've reduced your bond from $6,000 to $1,000. That's as good as it's going to get.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you. Crystal Davis. Afternoon, Ms. Davis. What's your date of birth?
11/2/92.
Davis, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for 1 count of grand theft auto. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD state.
Yes, Your Honor, just one minute. Showing a reckless driving in 2017, adjudication of guilt, and a driving license suspended, habitual offender, adjudication of guilt 2017, where a prison sentence was imposed. A Tampa plea with disregard of safety to person, plea elude, adjudication of guilt 2017.
Sir,
Hang on a second, Crystal. You have a chance in a minute.
Felony driving with license suspended, adjudication of guilt in 2016, and a grand theft that was of a motor vehicle that was dropped in 2016. A grand theft of motor vehicle, adjudication of guilt in 2016, where a strict prison sentence was imposed until 2017, where she committed more offenses.
That's probably good. Crystal, any place in particular that you've been living lately, or living outdoors, or what's going on?
23415 Lynette Street, Brooksville, Florida.
Okay. And you're working these days?
No, sir.
Okay. And was there something else you wanted to tell me?
Yes, I'm being housed here by the Vets and U.S. Marshals. I'm fixing to sign for 15 years.
Okay.
I was only housed.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to leave your bond at the 2,000. The 5th of March is as soon as I can get you back in court, but I'm sure they'll get you there and get this resolved and get you on your way. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Miguel Barrios. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
1578.
All right, Miguel, I have a warrant for you apparently out of Hudson County, New Jersey. The judge has signed the warrant. Found probable cause, looks like cruelty toward a child. Your options are this today. You're entitled to have an extradition hearing. The point of an extradition hearing would be to determine if you're the right Miguel Barrios and if Hudson County, New Jersey actually has a warrant for you. While you're waiting for that hearing, you'll stay right where you are in the Hernando County Jail. That process can take in the neighborhood of 60 days. If we determine that you are the right Miguel Barrios and Hudson County does have a warrant for you, then from that point, they would have 15 days to come pick you up. You can waive your right to that hearing this afternoon if you wish. If you waive your right to that hearing, then New Jersey would be notified and told that they have 15 days to come pick you up starting now. If they had not picked you up or made arrangements to pick you up in 15 days, you could be released. So the question you have to answer for me this afternoon is, are you interested in having an extradition hearing, or would you like to waive your right to that extradition hearing and put New Jersey on the clock right now?
I would like to waive it, and I want to say the cruelty towards children, that I've never done anything like that.
Oh, and Miguel, I have no idea other than we've got this warrant. So you're gonna get up to New Jersey to fix it, okay?
Yes. Question. You said 15 days. The 15 days, that counts weekends too?
Everything. Yep.
Okay.
All right. If you're still,
And then
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That's okay.
I will be in front of you in 15 days if they don't come?
What'll happen is I set it for a status on my calendar. In 15 days, I contact the folks at the jail. Most of the time, they tell me, yeah, he left. He's gone. Sometimes they tell me, yeah, he's still here, but New Jersey said they're going to be here on Wednesday or whatever. They're going to be here on some specific time, and in that case, we let them finish coming and come get you. Sometimes they tell me we haven't heard from them, and then we let you go.
Okay.
All right? Very good.
Because
Thank
usually they don't extradite. New Jersey usually doesn't extradite. I don't know. And this charge, I don't know why I have this charge. I've never committed this crime, so this can't be me.
Okay, well, we'll find out. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
William Jacobs. Afternoon, Mr. Jacobs. What's your date of birth?
11/19/1967.
Mr. Jacobs, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like an opportunity to hire counsel.
Okay. And state, what can you tell me?
Just a dropped battery in 2008 out of Hernando County, and a dropped battery in 99 out of Hernando County.
And William, I have an address for you on Tudor Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
26 years.
And Mary lives there as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a physical therapist assistant.
Set your bond at $1,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Mary. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I also have to hold you up until 4 o'clock this afternoon so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. Also, with that address on Tudor, as long as she stays there, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to grab your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to go. To accomplish that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you get your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back on the 8th of March. Make sure that when you talk to counsel, you tell them about that date, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Francesco Geyer. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/13/1994.
The charge today is battery on a person 65 or older. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, Steve.
A 2004 adjudication of guilt for a possession of marijuana. Other than that, no other history, Your Honor.
And I've got an address for you, sir, on Horizon Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
12 years?
All right. And Freddie lives there too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do?
I'm a manager at McDonald's.
Okay. Set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond is that you and he will have peaceful contact only. Since you both got arrested, there's not much I can do about this other than tell you that that's your bond, and when you get out, you guys are going to have to get along. If you don't get along, either or both of you could wind up in jail without bond until your cases get resolved. So it's important that whatever you need to do, you do so that you're not winding up back here, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to have you back in court on the 5th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Freddie Geyer.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. 6/11/47.
Very good. Freddie, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender,
I'll
please.
appoint the PD, State.
No history, Your Honor.
All right. So, Freddie, obviously you live on that address at Horizon, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you working these days, or are you retired now?
Social Security.
Social Security. All right. Freddie, I'm going to set your bond at $50. Same thing, peaceful contact with your son. You heard me explain this to him, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that? You guys got to get along till these cases
Yes.
get resolved.
Yes, Your Honor. It was a very stupid thing to do.
Well, there you go. It is the definition of stupid. There's no doubt about
Right.
that. All right, I'm going to have
Exactly.
you back in court on the 8th of March, Freddie. Make sure you contact the public defender when
Thank
you
you.
get out,
Have a
okay?
wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephen Hendrickson?
03/21/95.
Very good. Stephen, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for one count of battery being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender,
I'll
sir.
appoint the PD, State.
I'm showing a 2016 DUI that says convicted out of Ohio and no Florida history.
And Stephen, I've got an address for you on Coretta Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
2 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a political campaign advisor.
Okay. We'll set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Brian Hendrickson. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll have you back in court on the 8th of March. Make sure that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Sean Crown? Sorry. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/13/73.
And Sean, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for one count of felony domestic battery by strangulation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender,
I'll
please.
appoint the PD, State.
Adjudication of guilt in 2017 for petty theft. out of Hernando County, a grand theft adjudication of guilt in 2017 out of Hernando County, and a drugs child neglect without great bodily harm out of Hernando County in 2016. A burglary adjudication of guilt in 2013. A grand theft in 2013 adjudication of guilt. A Broward County petty theft with a disposition of adjudication of guilt. A 2007 burglary unarmed adjudication of guilt.
And Mr. Crown, I have an address for you on North Cliff Boulevard. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Almost 5 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I work part-time doing pest control.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Barry Crown. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir, I did.
Can you understand that?
I do completely.
Very good. And I have you back in court on the 13th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. And that should be it, right, Jill?
Yes, Your Honor.
Awesome. Thank you.